Hello and welcome to this review of Drumcastle Irish whiskey. Well, you can see I have drunk half of it. I did a review with someone else on my other channel, but here's a live review. Okay, I did a number of taste. Well, I did one taste challenge. I really didn't have any other Irish whiskey, so it was really not apropos or practical or appropriate to do this with other things. But this is Drumcastle. It's something you probably won't see unless you live in a place like Louisiana that allows Albertsons to sell whiskey in their grocery stores. Barrel-aged Irish whiskey. It's been on the market since 2016. Elegant and smooth, product of Ireland, 80 proof. It says a blend of 100% Irish whiskey, mellowed in a combination of bourbon and wine barrels for 3 years. Okay, so we got bourbon and wine barrels. Now, I don't know how my friend David would feel about this because he didn't like the New England. I know this is not a proper whiskey glass, but that's okay. Uh-oh, not too much. He didn't like the idea of the New England corn whiskey that was aged in cherry wood and oak. It's like they put some in the cherry wood, some in the oak, and age it, and then they mix it together. At least 4 years aged. Well, I thought it was fine. You know, it's kind of exotic and odd at Berkshire Mountain Distillery, but it wasn't bad. I noticed at his house last week, he didn't have hardly, maybe 20% of it he had drunk. The rest was just sitting in that bottle. I said, oh, he's wasting it. I didn't dare ask him, could I have it, you know? He said he might cook with it. 20 years, he would still have it. Okay, well, it's a lot, huh? All right, I'll sip on it. That is very golden and clear. It's a beautiful looking product. It's about $17 a bottle at Albertsons, but you can get it on sale. Well, I got it on sale like during the Christmas holidays last year, 2017, for $14. Sometimes Albertsons runs these really good sales, so it's nice to find those deals. And I was so impressed because I thought, nah, it's going to be nasty, you know, for that price, but turns out it's not. So, yeah, there's some mild peaty smoke, okay? It'll remind you in some ways. In some ways of Scotch, but only in a loose connection, okay? So if you look on my other channel, you'll see Drumcastle. And then there's a guy, Whiskey Quest. I want to watch all his videos. I'm going to go kind of fast on this guy. I'm going to start watching his videos. He did a bunch of videos. He's got a new channel as of only not even a year ago. And he liked Drumcastle. He talked about, he gave a lot of good descriptions, and he talked about how much he liked it. Okay, and I might do revisits on this channel. I do the political, this channel is called Anti-War, so I'll do political videos, which some people get enraged about because, I mean, who ever heard of having a different opinion about something? I mean, come on, this is not allowed in the modern world. But I didn't grow up in such a world. I grew up in a world where you could say what you wanted. Now, people didn't have to agree, but they wouldn't try to shut you down. But I didn't grow up in East Germany, you know what I mean? All right. It's smoky. It's smoky and peaty, but it's not profoundly smoky or profoundly peaty. But that's the characters, very mild, and bread. Barley, bread, or white bread. I guess it's predominantly corn, maize. Okay, maize, corn, maize, corn. But there must be a good or a decent amount of barley and a decent amount of rye or a touch of rye because it's a lovely aroma. It's oh so mild. Oh, it's right up there with Jameson. You know, Jameson isn't that much more expensive, about $6 more per bottle. And it's kind of like Jack Daniels. You know, you're like William Kepley said, you're buying a name more than a product at that point, and I think that's true. Little alcohol burn in the nose, but pleasant as heck. I mean, it is so dang pleasant. Let's go with the taste. Well, there's wood. Let me tell you right now, wood. Straightforward, you know, they're saying oak. It's bourbon barrels and wine barrels. Well, it's oak, you know, but it's barrels that they were aging wine in and barrels they were aging bourbon in. I don't think you're picking up a whole lot of those characters. Wine, nah. Bourbon, nah. But the wood, just the overall wood experience is there. Let's see what other things we're getting. I can't drink this. I'm not going to guzzle this. Oh, no, not 80 proof. Sorry, no thanks. Stand up a little bit, tired of sitting. Well, we welcome comments on this channel, by the way. Oh, the body is just light. It's light. It's a light body product. There is pepper. There is black pepper. Now, do they use black pepper in it? No, of course they do not. So it must have some kind of rye. Oh, it's made by Sazerac. They're known for their high rye content, but this is distilled in Ireland. It's only bottled in the United States. Wait a minute. You're telling me this is, I'm telling you this is Irish whiskey, but it's bottled in Kentucky. This is a common thing. A common thing. If you pay close attention, and most people do not, but if you pay close attention to your Scotch or Irish whiskey bottles, and it could be the case for German, I know it's the case for brandy, French brandy, it'll say bottled in the United States. They must ship it over in huge tankers. Some kind of tank of some, you know, some sort of huge tank. Then they bottle it here. Saves a lot of money, and so you're getting it cheaper. Okay. Now the corn is starting to come. The corn is starting to come into play a little bit, I have to admit. Just kneeling down on the carpet. Okay. It's a very pungent aroma. I have to say, it's very pungent in the aroma. It's not harsh, though, in any way. Someone was telling me yesterday, he said, I don't like Irish whiskey. I said, it's bland, isn't it? He went on to something else, but he didn't contest that point. I think he agreed. He liked some Scotch. He said he's a bourbon guy. Okay. I'm not really. Although I intend to drink at least one new bourbon every year. Now you might say, well, you're 50 years old. What are you going to drink? Only 30 new bourbons until you're 80? Yeah, that's the plan. You know, so what? You know, that's okay. No big deal. But a lot more Scotch and a lot more Canadian whiskey brands. Not one a year. It's a, let's say, a quick to moderate finish. In other words, it doesn't hang around lingering in the flavor and get you, you know, kind of put off, cloying. It's it's mild. All right, look, this Drumcastle is not going to change the drinking world. It's not going to make any kind of big impact. It's making an impact because I did a video on the other channel. I'm doing a video now, and Whiskey Quest did a video. You say, well, that's not much of an impact. Yeah, I know it, but you know, it is, you know, at least a minuscule impact. And he wrote an email to the Sazerac company, and they responded and said, yeah, it's just it is an Albertsons super value, Safeway, Jewel Osco product. Doesn't mean it's bad. That's just what it's designed for those stores to sell. I have a feeling that it sells fairly well. Is it a huge seller like Jameson, Patty? No, obviously it is not. But it's a decent seller, and Albertsons and those guys, they make a little money off of it. It's worth their while, in other words. It's a beautiful aroma. Peat. A lot of peaty soil. Now, some of the descriptors the Whiskey Quest was talking about, I wasn't picking up those, but you say, well, he might be a better evaluator than you of whiskey, and there's a strong possibility there. It has what I would call basic characteristics, but it's a beautiful aroma. I mean, you could just sit there and smell it. It just, the flavor is not as luxurious, you see. But it is nice. Now, I would be curious, not going to do it. Nice alcohol legs too. I would be curious, don't intend to do it, won't do it, never will do it. To go up, I would be curious to see how it would stand up against Jameson. I would think that it could hold its own. I'm just talking about the standard Jameson, you know. Probably wouldn't win, but it wouldn't be a runaway. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be a fiasco of a taste challenge. It would be an interesting, credible taste challenge. I mean, Jameson would win, you know, more than likely, but it would be competitive. Let's say, you know, like these college football games where there's one team, like say Indiana is playing at Ohio State. You say, well, that's going to be bad, bad, bad. But then you watch it and it ends up being 35-24, and you say, well, that game was tied and deep into the third quarter. You know, it turned out a lot closer than I had imagined. And it could be something like this, you see, or like that. So what I recommend it? I would recommend it within the context of knowing what you're getting. You're getting a private label store brand whiskey. It is nice. They do a good job with their branding. They do tend to look alike. If you get all the Albertsons store brands, this and the 75 South, I'll go get 75 South. You'll see what I mean. But they're fine. You know, they're fine. There's a bit of a commonality. You know, see what I'm talking about? The bottle design. You know, if you start looking at it carefully, you'll see a lot of crossover. Same bottle, same type label, like the thick band at the bottom, the kind of archway label in some ways. A lot of foil, gold foil kind of label look. Same neck, same type of neck, you know, with the thin bands and then the middle body, and then, but they're okay. They don't totally scream private label. First glance, you might think it's an actual brand on its own. Then you start looking carefully and you say, oh, it's one of them. It is. But it's fine. It's better than you would expect. And that's why I would recommend it. I would say I would recommend it, taking into account that it's private label. But thoroughly enjoyable. Thoroughly enjoyable. What's the detriment to it? You know, what are the downsides? I honestly don't see any downsides. I've had the Jameson Castmates, a couple of them, not all. And yeah, this is right up there, you know, kind of running with them. Thanks for watching this video. Wait a minute, let's see about comments. Nah, no comments. Hey, this is a small channel. This alternate channel.